the idea behind Gutenberg editor is it uses blocks to arrange your contents. Each block is a different content type or content module, however you want to call it. Okay. It's usually called a block. Divi, on the other hand, is basically similar to what we just did with Gutenberg. Okay. So, what is Divi? Divi is an increasingly popular WordPress theme amongst beginners and professional WordPress developers. Okay. Although Divi has a lot of advantage and disadvantage to it, this, I think, is the most common or the most popular reasons why people use Divi. Okay. Divi allows customization. Okay. It allows you to customize your site according to your markup. So we were talking about planning and how to design your site, and maybe you sit down, you brainstorm, and you have a few ideas. So I want my site to look like this. I want my key indicators to be on top. I want my news to be on this side. I want my sidebar to be on this side. You sit down and you have all these ideas. Okay. Divi actually lets you build this kind of site that you want. Okay. You'll see what we mean when you go on. Divi uses Visual Builder. What we just did with Gutenberg, we worked on something called a block editor. Okay. With Divi, we will work on a visual builder. You'll see what that visual builder is. Okay. It's an intuitive design option that allows you to move things around, basically drag and drop on the front end. We're working with Divi inside the dashboard. This actually lets you work outside of a dashboard on the actual site on the front end. This is one of the points that I think Divi helps a lot with, is the branding. Now, Divi has a lot of settings and a lot of options that you could actually use. One of the things that it separates or it lets you do is gives your site a branding that actually looks different from other sites. Okay. Now, bear in mind that Divi is a theme that comes with a builder, which is the visual builder. It used to be separate before. You get a Divi theme and then you get Divi builder, but now it's incorporated into one. Okay, so why we use Divi is because of the customization, the visual builder, and it allows you to brand your site with the default sets of the palettes of colors it provides, which you can choose from, and even own your own colors as well. So the Divi builder comes in two forms. Well, it came in two forms, but the latest updates now, you won't see it in the backend anymore. Okay. So this is what it looks from the backend. So it is a backend builder that lives inside the WordPress dashboard, and the frontend builder, which is called the visual builder, lives outside of the WordPress dashboard, and it allows you to build page layout and add contents on the front end of your site. Okay. Do we understand the main concept behind a backend and a front end? Yeah? No? So the backend is where you see the dashboard. Front end is just basically a site where everyone sees it. So that's the main difference between a backend and a front end. Now, so this is an image of the backend builder, which doesn't exist anymore on the new Divi version. It only looks like this. So on your front end, when you enable Divi, you get something like this. Okay? Now the visual builder actually uses three main building blocks. You have a section, which is the largest building blocks that houses groups of rows. The same as we talked like in the Gutenberg. We have a block, and then inside the block we create another block, and then we add content on it. With Divi, it uses different terms of it. Okay. It uses sections, rows, and modules. Okay. So The biggest section here, which covers everything, is known as the section. It's the section, okay, which is the largest building block that houses a group of rows. Row sits inside of a section and houses modules. This is actually the actual contents now. Okay. And a module is the content elements that make up your site. You can have an image as a module, text as a module, another blog as a module. Okay. We'll look at it. The sections from these three main blocks, the blue area here, has again three types of sections in them. You have the regular, you have the specialty, and full width. Okay. Regular is made up of a basic rows and columns. Maybe you have two columns, one row at the bottom, so it's all stepped. I mean, one at the top, the other one at the bottom, like that. Specialty gives you a more advanced layout. Okay. We'll do some demos and you'll see how they work. And then you have full width, which basically extends throughout the width of the entire screen. Rows, modules, and modules. Okay. So we've talked about sections, which is the blue part that you can see there. Now we talk about this green part here, okay, this green outline here. Okay, the section sits inside, rows sits inside of a section, and it contains different types of column structure. This is what I mean by column structure. You have like a full width, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, and the list goes on. Okay. You can have here something different like a 3/4 and 1/4, something like that. So there are about 20 different types of column structure, and they are listed here, or shown here. After columns, we have modules. Okay. These modules actually sit inside of these rows here. These rows sit inside of sections, which are the largest building blocks. Okay. So the modules are the content elements that make up a site. Every module that Divi has can fit into any column width. And there are about 40 content modules in them. So you have accordions, audio, bar chart, blog, and the list goes on. There are 3 main types of settings within each of those building blocks. So here is the section setting. Remember, the section is the largest building block. Then you have the row, then you have the modules. Each of those building blocks has the settings, but common thing that you'll see within those settings are these 3 main tabs: content, design, and advanced. So the content lets you add options like add link, add background to that section, add an image, which is the background. The design has styling options such as sizing, spacing, the margins, the paddings. And advanced are for more experienced designers, where they add custom CSS and other attributes there. And the same as you can see with row settings, they have the 3 main tabs that are content, design, and advanced. Okay. Now it varies from, when you come down to rows, it varies now. Okay. Not rows, but we'll look at modules, then it varies. Okay. So the rows, the content is a bit different from sections. Okay. So you see sections, we have link, background, but modules now we have an additional option here, the column structure, and which we've looked at. It has a 20 different structure type. Okay. The design contains the same options that the row or the section have, and advanced. The module, however, has a lot more settings than the other 2, the row and sections. Okay. And it varies from each module. So here I'm using a blurb settings, or a blurb module. So the content options are a bit different from the others. Okay. We'll have a look at this as well. how do we create a layout and add content modules in or using Divi? So like I've said, when you started to create a new page, you have something like this. And then you added your page title, and then I told you to click use default builder, our editor. Okay. I hope no one clicked on Divi yet. Okay. So here I'm going to give a page title. Say Divi. Now it says, add a new page and give a descriptive title. Okay. I couldn't stress it enough. You guys must give a descriptive title to your page. Okay. And the next step is to click on Use Divi Builder button, which is the purple button there. And then you choose Start Building. There's going to be 3 options there, but you can choose Start Building. And by default, when you use Divi Builder, it opens up in a regular section. Okay. Now, there's 3 different sections, like we've discussed: regular, specialty, and full width. Visual Builder starts with a regular section as your starting point. From there, you can insert rows, which is the second largest building block, and then insert a module. For example, blurb. Let's do an example. So my page title is, well, let's go back to contact and see. Now I'll click on Use Divi Builder. I'll say Start Building. And here you have 3 options. Either you can choose a pre-made layout. It's basically like endless list of layouts that you can choose from. You can choose an existing page, but since we're starting off, we'll just say Start Building here. Okay. Now get this. This is inside a section. Okay. Do you still remember sections, or it got lost somewhere? Okay. So I told you that the blue outline area are sections. They are the largest building blocks in Divi. Okay. So let's create something very similar to, I want to say this, but then I said contact on my page already. So anyway, let's just create something like this. So this page, on our home page here, we have well, you have that as well. You have these 4 main key indicators here. How did we do this? Yeah. So the first thing that we did was we've launched Divi, we started a new page with Divi, and then we added 4 columns by clicking this here. Are we all on the same page? Are you guys following, or? Okay. So the first thing is a section. The second building block is a row, which you insert a number of columns in that row. So let's say insert 4 column row. Notice that we are not in the WordPress dashboard anymore. We are outside of the page. We are on the front page now. Okay. Now you might be asking, are we doing this? Is it live? Are people going to watch us doing it? No. Okay. Not yet. So here, once you add your row, it will give you this option to insert a module now. Now, module is a content type or a content block in which you can add your contents, okay, or the content elements. So here I would say I like to add a blurb. So one thing good about Divi is you can actually see what's happening while you're doing stuff on it. So I've clicked on blurb here, and I said blurb like this. And then this settings here pops up. So here I'm going to say population. And on the content, I can just put some numbers. And maybe I want to add a bit of flavor into it, sort of an icon that represents population. So Divi provides you with icons as well. You look for something descriptive to your title, for example, population. I am looking for a person, or maybe two. Okay, so I have one here. Okay. So once I'm done, satisfied, I can go into design and add some more designs, like color this icon to whatever color I want. Okay. So once I'm done with that, I click on the Save Changes, and I have it here. Okay. Now here, you can do a lot of customization with Divi here. With the design option here. Each of these modules contains a lot of design options. Okay. For example, if I want to customize that icon in front there, okay, so I go to design, image and icon, and then I choose a color that suits probably my logo or something. So I go to icon and image. In the icon color, I select blue. If I want to go add a circle around that icon, I can do that. If I check this one, okay, create a circle around it. I want the image to be on top or on the left. Okay, you can choose, and it becomes something like this. And the list is just endless. You can just do so many things with Divi that I don't think we'll have time to go through all of them, and then you'll get confused along the way. Okay. So this is just a basic introduction to Divi.